So it's so funny how the m- mysteries of life, the solutions to some of the hardest problems, are these counterintuitive and yet simple things. So, for example, when I posted a video on how to stop the cycle of abuse, um, by taking responsibility for yourself. This does not apply to kids, only adults. But once you take responsibility for yourself, you recognize no one else can take responsibility for you. And then you stop taking responsibility for other people. And then there are good boundaries, and you don't participate and engage with people who violate those boundaries, and that ends up stopping the cycle of abuse. But as I said in that video, it's an awful message, and can feel very triggering because the messaging feels like it should be you are not responsible for abuse, and therefore you're not responsible for ending the cycle. That seems like it would make more sense, and yet that's not the answer. Similarly, I just posted about how in order to be in a healthy, loving relationship, you have to love yourself first. And that's another one. That's another one that hits so hard and counterintuitively, because it's like, well, how, how can I love myself if I've never been loved by people who are supposed to love me? Like, how am I supposed to figure that out? Shouldn't the answer be that other people love me and then I go, now I know how to love myself, and then things are fixed? And no, that's not how it works, because, and again, for adults, not kids. Um, and that's not how it works, because when you're an adult and you have a belief system, it's very hard to shift that belief system. And if that belief system is founded on not loving yourself, feeling like you are unlovable, and that you need other people to validate that you're a worthy person of loving, there will never be enough. We can go back to my tarot card video where I talk about, like, no one can fill your cup. Again, adults, not kids. Um, you know, and it sucks. And I'm about to tell you another thing that sucks, but it's true. And so there are two secrets to happiness. The first secret to happiness is to not focus on happiness. Don't even worry about happiness. What you need to be worried about is living in integrity with your values. So when you chase happiness, that's not how you get happiness. But when you live in integrity with your values, whatever happens, if you made that decision from a place of integrity, then you are going to be content, because you are more focused on the process, not the outcome. The outcome has nothing to do with whether or not you feel emotionally content and satisfied, and you can find happiness in that. And the second secret to happiness, I'm so sorry, is to not be negative. And it sounds like some toxic positivity shit. I know. um, but when you are going through the ish, when it sucks, when people are doing not okay things, when they're harming you or someone you love, when you are struggling, how do you not get sucked into, like, the suck of it all? How do you not lose hope? And that truly is the victory, is when you can go through the things, and you either maintain or you don't lose who you are. And not only that, maybe you even have been, like, forged by it, and you become an even stronger person with greater conviction, and you can make better decisions that are more integrity with your values, right? It contributes to this core of strength. And so the happiness is the byproduct of making decisions that we believe are the right decisions to make. When you chase hedonic pleasure, when you chase feeling happy in the moment, it's never going to last. That's that empty cup. No one can fill, like, no one can fill it. Your sense of happiness. Um, and so really part and parcel of not letting these awful experiences poison your joy is that you have to resist the urge to get stuck in complaining, resist the urge to get stuck in criticism and judgment because it's so easy to build that habit and then to just carry it on in your life. So, like, when life sucks, and it's like, I need to complain about this. It is not okay. I need to vent. I need to get this out, because I, I need to speak the truth about this experience that I'm having. You know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It serves its purpose. But just like sort of, I feel like I feel like I'm the same way too with my kid. I'm telling him the same thing. It's like it's not all not all this way, not all this way. It's like you need both balance, blah blah blah. And so it's basically like this more holistic perspective of us as a human being. It's it's okay to acknowledge that stuff's not okay and to want to talk about it and process it. But it's a little bit of a trap because it can be very satisfying to just get stuck there and to take it to places where it doesn't matter. Rian Johnson, however you say his name, messed up the Star Wars universe. I mean, we can have an opinion, but we don't need to like vilify people. At the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, this movie wasn't amazing. And instead of holding on to this maybe unrealistic perspective, of what these movies should be, we hold things lightly because at the end of the day, oh, and some Star Wars person's gonna be mad at me, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we even get beautiful, true stories that show us how we can triumph in the human condition. That's why Puppet Yoda, my favorite one out of all of the, like, I don't, CGI Yoda, not so much, but Puppet Yoda, and they're in the swamps of Dagobah, and it's like, buddy, you got to work hard, and fear is the mind killer. And I know that's a Dune reference, but whatevs. He's talking to Luke about how fear turns to anger and anger turns to hate, and complaining and criticism and judgment. That's like hate light. And Madeline L'Engle's, oh, what is the name of the book? Oh, I feel like an idiot. Wrinkle in Time. In A Wrinkle in Time, there are these beings that they negate people's identity, and it's by saying things that are horrible. It's taking somebody's insecurities and magnifying them to such an extent, and then defining them by it, and you just absolutely destroy their sense of themselves. And that's what criticism and judgment and negativity can do. It can be incisive and show truth, um, but it also can destroy, right? If you've noticed, all toxic people, all abusers are all fundamentally negative, critical, judgmental people. And, I'm not saying all non positive people are toxic, but all toxic people are negative. And so it's just as satisfying as it is, as accurate as it may feel. If you want to be a happy person, you cannot get stuck there, even if it's true. And you have to look for the good, a la Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers. You want to be paying attention to reality as a whole. We're having a whole human experience. And there are the beautiful, the wonderful. There's also the hurt and the pain. And it's not fair. It's not fair when we're the ones that are dealing with the hurt and the pain. But when we can hold on to who we are, when we stay in integrity with our value system, when we can make it through those tough times, and we have demonstrated pure heart and character, or if we have made mistakes or if we have hurt people, we learn and we grow and we try to not do it again or make amends or whatever, where we can transform this human experience into something that is wonderful and that can have some good in the world. It's really hard to do that when you're a negative person. It just is. Anyway, hope this makes sense. I'll see you next time.